Okay, here I am at the end of my new color, at the end of row 5. I have a few more V-stitches to work in. So I'm going to V-stitch into the next V-stitch. V-stitch again into the next V-stitch. And then this is where I'm going to do my color change again. So I am going to double crochet in the last stitch, which is the turning chain 2 from the previous row. So I'm going to double crochet, except for I'm only going to do the first part of the double crochet. I'm going to end with 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to grab my new color, which is the same color we started with. Go back to that. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to take my new color, I'm going to wrap it around my old color, I'm going to tie a loop around it, I'm going to tighten it around my old color, then I'm going to grab the short tail, I'm going to pull it down to secure it into the edge near the hook. Of course, I'm going to drop my tail on my old color. I'm going to hold these 2 down. I'm going to bring through my new color through the last 2 loops on the hook. And there's my color change. From here I'm going to chain my 2. I'm going to turn. And then I'm going to hold my tail and my old color down in even with the first V-stitch. Now you don't have to, you can leave your tail behind and you can work all of it in later. But I'm just going to go ahead and hold it down and work my first V-stitch. Holding it down. Work my first V-stitch, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet all into the same stitch. And here I can go ahead and cut off my old color. And there I have made my color change. So again, I am going to work a V-stitch and each V-stitch across to the end, double crochet into the turning chain 2. I'm going to chain 2 and then turn my work. I'm going to go ahead and work 5 more rows of this new color. So we have our first 5 rows, and then we have our second 5 rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have our next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to make our new 5 rows with this color. At the end of those 5 rows, we're going to change colors again. And at the end of that one, we're going to change to this color and make 5 more rows. So basically, you're going to have 5 rows, 5 sets of the colors. You're going to have 3 rows of the dark brown, and you're going to have 2 rows of the light color. So you'll end on a set of dark. So it'll be dark, light, dark, light, dark. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 rows basically, 5 each. At the end of the 5th set, you'll double crochet into the last chain, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, here I am at the end of my 25th row. There will be 25 rows. I'm gonna V-stitch in the last few V-stitches. So V-stitch in the next stitch. V-stitch into the next stitch. And I am going to double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, Okay, then you're gonna get your scissors, cut off the rest, chain, pull it through, and finish off. So to clarify, I switched my colors. I made 25 rows. I did 5 rows of the brown, 5 rows of the tan, 5 rows of the brown, 5 rows of tan, and finished with 5 rows of brown. I made my panel. So what you want to do is you're going to repeat this. You're going to make 2 panels exactly the same. So after you work your first panel, you're going to go on to make your second panel with your chain 131 and then follow the pattern again. And what I did is I went ahead and made both of mine right away. On my new panel, what I did is I just switched the colors alternating. I started with the light color, and then I did my brown, I did my tan, did my brown, and then I ended with my tan. So the next step is getting your needle and stitching these 2 panels together to form our poncho. Go ahead and get your needle out. I'm going to set this up to get it ready to show you how to stitch it together, and I will see you then. Okay, so for this part you're going to lay your panels out. You're going to lay one out long ways like this, and then you're going to just face this one in the opposite direction down this way. We will be stitching this end together, so you meet up these corners. We're going to stitch it across here. As soon as we get done stitching here, what we will do is we will fold this piece all the way over to line up with that end. So it'll be folded over and it'll line up with this end there. And then with this end we will fold it over to here, and we will be stitching down this line. So again, our one piece will be out long ways this way. The other piece will be long ways this way in the opposite direction. We're going to stitch it up here. Then we're going to fold this piece all the way to match the end up here, and then to match here. So we're going to fold this side over to match here. So then we will stitch down this way, and that'll stitch our poncho together. So let me get back to where I set that up so that way I can stitch it with you. See you in a second. Okay, so here I am getting ready to stitch my 2 pieces together. I went ahead and chose the lighter color to stitch it together with. So I'm going to thread my needle. And of course it's not going to go the first time. So thread my needle, and then I'm going to stitch these pieces together. So I'm going to match up the corners. And I'm going to try to stay on the top side so that way this can be the inside and you won't see the thread underneath on the front side too much. It should hide pretty good. So I matched up my corners, and I also didn't tuck in my ends yet. I'm going to do that when I'm all finished. I usually wait till the end to do all that. So I'm going to start with my thread on my needle, match up the corners. I kind of went through the top piece here and then through this piece there. And I'm just going to stitch it all the way down evenly until I get to the end corner here. So I will just try to evenly stitch it across. So I will begin stitching. I'm going to pull through to give me enough that I need. I will make a knot here just because that's what I do. So I'm going to make my knot. And then I'm going to cut lost my scissors. Found a new pair, so I'm going to cut a piece here just to leave a tail. And then I'm going to continue to hold my two pieces together. I'm going to also work around the tail as I'm stitching them together. So I'm going to try to go as evenly as possible all the way down across to the other corner, working around my tail. So I'm going to pick up this end here, and I'm going to try to go back down the other side here, working around that tail again just to hide it, secure it in. Again, moving down the side. Again. And like I said, just repeat this process all the way across. There's no exact way to do it, just try to do it as even as possible. Holding that tail down and tucking it under. And just stitching it together. Just secure the two panels together. Here at the color change. Again, and I am going to continue to stitch all the way down, holding my tail till I get to the next corner, or till I get to the next corner, the end of the corner, and I will meet you there.